Cold air still on my sleeve, but the light feels different now, like something shifting underneath the frozen ground. Somehow I walk a little slower when you're walking next to me. Not because I'm tired, but because I wanna see every detail of this moment, every breath between the words, the way the sun hits your face like something I deserve. Nothing needs to be said, it's already changing. The air, the light, the way we're not rearranging. We're standing between seasons, not winter, not quite spring. Every quiet moment feels like it's learning us, learning how we move, learning how we breathe. Standing between seasons is exactly where I wanna be. Your shadow moves beside mine, like it's always been there, like it knows the shape of mine, like it knows to care. I don't ask where we're going, I just keep matching steps, finding rhythm in the walking, finding peace in what comes next. The world is slowly waking from its winter sleep, and I'm slowly understanding what you've come to mean to me. No rush in our breath, just time unfolding, like spring beneath the snow, patiently holding. We're standing between seasons, not winter, not quite spring. Every quiet moment feels like it's luring us, learning how we fit, learning how we stay. Standing between seasons, and I hope we never find our way to summer or to certainty, to promises too soon. I wanna stay right here in this in-between with you, where everything is possible, where nothing's set in stone. Between seasons with you, I've never felt more home. The cold is getting gentler, the light is staying longer, and every day with you makes me a little stronger. We're standing between seasons, and that's exactly right. Not rushing toward tomorrow, just holding on to tonight. Every quiet moment, every step we take, standing between seasons is the sweetest choice we make. Soft light on the street, nothing else to hold, just you and me. Between seasons as winter loses hold. Your coffee's cooling slowly, mine's already gone, but I ordered another one just to stay a little long. The cafe's getting empty, but we don't seem to care. There's something in the silence that keeps us sitting there. I watch the way you hold your cup with both hands like it's precious. The way you smile at something small makes everything seem endless. It's almost warm enough to believe in this. Not love, not silence, just something we don't miss when we're apart, when we're alone. It's almost warm enough to call it home. this feeling that we've grown. I feel it in the pause before you smile, the way you let me sit here for a while, without asking why, without needing more. Just sitting in the almost warm that we're building toward. The window slightly open, winter letting go, fresh air mixing with the warmth, a preview of the thaw. I don't pull my coat tighter, I don't wanna leave. This almost warm is teaching me how to just receive, without questioning if I deserve it, without wonder when it ends. Almost warm is perfect when you're sitting with a friend. It's almost warm enough to believe in this. Not love, not silence, just something we don't miss when we're apart, when we're alone. It's almost warm enough to call it home, this feeling that we've grown. They say wait for summer, wait for heat and certainty, but I don't need the burning sun when almost warm is next to me. Almost warm is safer, almost warm is real, almost warm doesn't promise more than it can feel. And what I feel right now is enough to make me stay in this almost warm forever. If you feel the same way, it's almost warm enough to believe in us. Not love, not silence, but something worth the trust when we're together, when we're here. It's almost warm enough to make things clear that this is what we need. We sit with the calm and let it be. Almost warm between us is all we'll ever need. Footsteps in wet streets, reflections breaking slow. The world is getting softer as the temperature climbs. Your hand almost touches mine, but doesn't need to. The space between us holds everything we're not saying. I can hear the melting dripping from the roofs, little rivers running towards something new. The snow is disappearing without a sound, like fear I didn't know I was still holding down. Something's melting quietly right between us now. Every second softer, every word's slowing down, like snow in morning sunshine, like ice beneath our feet. Something's melting quietly and it feels bittersweet to let go of the cold, to let go of the guard. Something's melting quietly and it's not that hard. I stop checking the time when you look my way. The clock becomes irrelevant when I wanna stay. This moment doesn't ask to be named or defined. It just exists between us like the changing light. The puddles on the sidewalk reflect the clearing sky. Snow melting quietly, teaching me how to try to trust in the the transition, to not fear the change. Snow melting quietly, rearranging everything. Something's melting quietly right between us now. Every second softer, every word slowing down. Like snow in morning sunshine, like walls I built too tall. Something's melting quietly, and I'm not scared to fall into this new season, into this new way. Something's melting quietly every single day. What if warmth is not the enemy? What if soft is not weak? What if snow melting quietly is exactly what I seek? After years of frozen, after years of cold, what if melting quietly is how I become whole? I watch it disappear, the white that covered everything, and underneath I see the green that's emerging. Something's melting quietly, and I'm letting it. Every second softer, every moment lit by this gentle transition, by this slow release. Something's melting quietly, bringing me such peace. No end in sight, just stillness. Snow melting quietly into forgiveness. Still wearing winter colors, gray and navy blue, but thinking lighter days when I'm thinking about you. Your laugh cuts through the cold in an accidental way, makes me forget it's February, makes me think of May. I catch myself smiling, and nothing in particular, just the thought of seeing you makes everything less secular. This is before the flowers, before we call it love, just two hearts warming up without enough proof. This is before the blooming, before we say the words, just two souls circling like early morning birds. Before the flowers arrive, before the colors show, this is the quiet time when feelings start to grow. We don't promise tomorrow, we don't rewrite the past, we just stay right here and let the moment last longer than it should, sweeter than it seems. Before the flowers bloom, we're living in between what was and what will be, what's safe and what's risk. Before the flowers, there's only this. I didn't plan this feeling, it just arrived one day, like the first crocus through the snow's decay. I didn't plan to need you or to miss you when you're gone, but before the flowers, something's growing strong. This is before the flowers, before we call it love, just two hearts warming up the flowers arrive, before the world can see. This is our secret season, just you and me. And maybe flowers never come, maybe this is all. Maybe before the flowers is the sweetest time of all, when anything is possible, when nothing's set in stone. Before the flowers feels most like home. I'm not rushing toward the garden, I'm happy in the dirt. Before the flowers, nothing has to hurt. This is before the flowers, and I wanna stay right here in the almost, in the not quite yet today. This is before the blooming, and that's perfectly fine. Before the flowers is my favorite time. Soft breath in the air, then quiet. Before the flowers, we're still private. The wind still bites a little, but the sun arrives first, changing the equation of what could be worse than winter or than loneliness. I notice how you listen, like you're never in a hurry, like my words are worth the mission of stopping everything to hear what I'm trying to say. Light arrives before the warmth, but it shows the way. Something opens slowly in the calm, like a flower to the sun, like your gentle palm reaching out to steady me when I'm unsure. Light arrives before the spring, just like you did. No grand entrance, just staying close when I needed someone near. Light arrives before the thaw, teaching me that love doesn't have to roar. Can be quiet, can be soft, can be steady, can be slow. Light arrives before the spring and helps me grow. I stop guarding my words, let them fall as they are, imperfect and unpolished, like unpredicted stars. You don't try to fix them, you just let them land. You don't try to change me, you just understand that light arriving first is all I need to see. That spring is coming closer, that I can finally be. That's when I feel it, this ease, like light through windows, like a gentle breeze that doesn't force the door, just slowly fills the room. Light arriving first, before the bloom. Light arrives before the spring, just like you did. No grand entrance, just being there when darkness felt too thick. Light arrives before the warmth, teaching me that healing doesn't happen in a storm. Can be gradual, can be kind, can be patient, can be true. Light arrives before the spring, just like you. I'm learning to trust the process of slow and steady change. That light arriving first can rearrange everything I thought I knew about how love should feel. That gentle can be powerful. just minutes at a time, but those minutes add up like your hand in mine. Lighter eyes before the spring, and I'm not afraid of this gradual awakening, of this gentle cascade of feelings that are building day by day by day. Lighter eyes before the spring, showing me the way the day fades out. Still warm, lighter eye first, now comes the calm. I don't miss the cold as much when you're around. The silence feels kinder, less like drowning, more like sound of peace I didn't know I was allowed to have. Slowly becoming someone who can laugh without it feeling foreign, without it feeling fake. Slowly becoming someone who can take a compliment without deflecting, a moment without fear. Slowly becoming whole when you're near. We're slowly becoming something unnamed, not rushing forward, not staying the same, just slowly becoming what we're meant to be. Together or separate, setting each other free to grow at our own pace, to bloom in our own time. Slowly becoming is the sweetest climb. If it's without trying, that's new. This feeling of ease when I'm with you. No force, no pressure, no need to pretend. Slowly becoming more than friends, but what exactly? Who can say? We're slowly becoming day by day. I notice the small things, like how you wait for me to finish thinking before you open the gate to a new topic, new terrain. You're patient in a way that makes me wanna be more present every day. Or how your voice softens at night, like you're careful with the fading light, with my tender places, with my guarded heart. Slowly becoming is the finest art. We're slowly becoming something real, not rushing forward, just learning to feel, just slowly becoming what we already are. Together we're wandering, but we're not wandering far from this gentle center, from this peaceful place. Slowly becoming at our own pace. They say love happens fast, like lightning, like a storm, but we're slowly becoming, and it feels more warm, more sustainable, more true, more like something built to last. Slowly becoming isn't slow, it's fast. Enough for hearts that have been broken, for souls that need more time. Slowly becoming is our perfect rhyme. I don't need to know what we'll call this tomorrow. Slowly becoming means no need to borrow from the future or the past. Just right here, right now. Slowly becoming is teaching me how. We're slowly becoming, and that's enough. Not rushing forward, this isn't rough. The slowly becoming is exactly right. Not hurried, slowly becoming is where I wanna stay. No words needed, just time slowly becoming yours and mine. Yours and mine. I catch myself smiling without a reason why. Or maybe the reason is I stopped asking why. Winter doesn't feel heavy when you reply to my random messages about nothing in sky. And weather and music and thoughts I can't explain. Practice for spring feels like gentle rain, washing away the residue of harder times before. Practice for spring is opening the door. Maybe this is how spring begins, not with flowers but with tiny winds against the cold inside, against the frost in me. Maybe spring begins with learning to be free. We're practicing for spring, making space to feel, letting moments land instead of chasing them. We're practicing for warmth by being kind today. Every soft conversation, every patient pause, practicing for spring without a single clause or condition or demand, just being here. Practicing for spring is how we persevere. Your presence stays gentle, never ask for more, and that makes me open every closed door, every guarded window, every locked away part. Practice for spring is how I restart my system. I believe in that good things can remain. Practice for spring teaches me that rain eventually becomes sunshine, eventually becomes growth. Practice for spring is how we both learn to trust the process, learn to wait and see. Practice for spring is setting ourselves free. We're practicing for spring, making space to feel, letting moments land instead of stealing them. We're practicing for warmth by being soft today. Practicing for spring in every single way, every kind word spoken, every gentle touch. Practicing for spring doesn't ask for much, just showing up consistently, just being real. Practicing for spring is how we heal. What if spring is not a season, but a state of mind? What if we're already there and just need to find the courage to believe it, the faith to let it stay? Practice for spring is what we do each day, when we choose to be vulnerable, when we choose to try. Practice for spring is how we fly, without leaving the ground, without losing touch. Practice for spring means trusting this much is enough for now, is enough to grow. Practice for spring is how we know that better days are coming, not because we're sure, but because we're practicing, and that's the cure. We're practicing for spring, and spring is practicing too, getting ready for shoes. Practicing for spring means we can't lose. Breathing it in slow. Practicing for spring, we grow. The nights are still long, but less lonely now. I think of you without trying to somehow force it or manufacture the feeling that you bring. Almost there to something that feels like early spring. The darkness doesn't scare me when I know you're just a call away from making it better, from making sense of it all. We're almost there, we're cold, let's go. Not quite love, close enough to know that this is real, that this could be. Almost there is close enough for me. We're almost there, where winter ends. Not quite lovers, but more than friends. Almost there is a sacred space where we can take our time, where there's no race. I don't step back, I stay right here in the almost, day by day. Getting closer to certain, getting closer to sure. Almost there is the gentlest cure. Your name feels lighter every time I say it, like something waiting in the wings to play it. It's full role in my story, it's true part of my life. Almost there to calling you more than just a might. Maybe, possibly, perhaps those words are fading fast. Almost there to certainty, almost to forecast that you're going to matter for longer than a season. Almost there to loving you and needing no reason. We're almost there, we're cold, let's go. Not quite love, but warm enough to show that this is special, that this is true. Almost there is me and you. We're almost there, where fear subsides. Not quite certain, but open and wide. Almost there is where I wanna be. Not rushed, not forced, just naturally. What if almost there is actually arrival? What if we don't need more for survival than this gentle growing, than this steady pace? Almost there might be the perfect place to stay a while longer, to not rush ahead. Almost there is where we're being led by something bigger than us, by something wise and kind. Almost there keeps blowing my mind with how good it feels to not have all answers. Almost there is where romance stirs. We're almost there, and that's okay. Not quite love, but more than yesterday. We're almost there, where trust begins. Not quite forever, but let's let it in. Almost there is sacred ground, where we can simply be found by each other, by ourselves, by this beautiful truth. Almost there is our fountain of youth. Hold this moment soft. Between your coat and mine, there's just enough space to maintain the mystery, to protect this grace. We walk the quiet line between then and now, between what was and will be, between the why and how. I like existing here in this liminal place where nothing's guaranteed, but everything has space. I don't cross it, I don't need to. The quiet line between us is a breakthrough, from lonely to together, from guarded to revealed. The quiet line we're walking is perfectly healed. Love doesn't have to rush across the season. It can stay right here and still have reason to be called love, to be called real. The quiet line we're walking is ideal for hearts that need more time, for souls that need more space. The quiet line between us is our saving grace. Love doesn't have to shout to make itself known. The quiet line we're walking feels like home. Your pace matches mine without a word exchange. That's how I know this isn't strange or forced or fabricated. It's naturally aligned. The quiet line we're walking is one of a kind. That's how I know this really matters, not because it doesn't shatter the peace I've built around me, the calm I've worked to find. The quiet line respects me and my state of mind. Nothing forced, nothing lost. The quiet line comes at no cost to who I am or who you are. The quiet line between us is our guiding star. Love doesn't have to run across the border. It can walk the quiet line in perfect order, taking its sweet time, learning as it goes. The quiet line between us is how love grows, when it's given room, when it's given care. The quiet line we're walking is beyond compare. To rushing or to pushing, to forcing or to fear, the quiet line keeps us perfectly clear. Some people run toward love like it's going to escape. We walk the quiet line and take our time to shape this beautiful connection, this gentle bond we're making. The quiet line isn't waiting, it's awakening. Everything we need, everything we are. The quiet line between us isn't far from becoming something deeper, from turning into more. The quiet line is a perfect door to walk through when we're ready, to open when it's time. The quiet line between us is a perfect rhyme against the rushing world, against the pressing need. The quiet line is where we're free. Love doesn't have to rush, and we don't have to know. The quiet line between us lets us grow at our own perfect pace, at our own perfect speed. The quiet line quiet line is me and you. Footsteps fade together. The quiet line forever. The last cold morning set was behind us, like a final chapter of a book that used to blind us. I don't hold it back, but let it pass. Winter served its purpose. It wasn't meant to last. Forever in my heart, forever in my life. Before we call it spring, I made peace with winter's knife. They cut me, shaped me, made me who I am. Before we call it spring, I understand. Let go of is necessary. The fire served its role. Before we call it spring, I'm finally whole. Before we call it spring, I want this time. But nothing's promised and everything's forward. Where nothing's certain, but everything's mine. Before we call it spring, one final line between what was and will be, between the cold and warm. Before we call it spring, I wither one more stone. Both emotions, the feelings of letting it go. Before we call it spring, I wanna know that I'm ready for the warmth, that I'm ready for the light. Before we call it spring, one night. Your hand stays near mine, enough to be real. Not grasping, not holding, just helping me feel grounded in this transition, steady in this change. Before we call it spring, we're finding our range. Enough to be gentle, enough to be true. Before we call it spring, I'm learning from you how to move through seasons without losing myself. Before we call it spring, I'm taking up the shelf. All the parts I hid away, all the dreams I froze. Before we call it spring, the real me shows. I don't name it, I live it. Before we call it spring, I give it all my attention, all my care. Before we call it spring, I'm finally there. In this beautiful liminal space, in this sacred between. Before we call it spring, I've never been more ready for whatever comes, more open to the new. Before we call it spring, I'm choosing you. And I'm choosing me, and I'm choosing this. Before we call it spring, one final kiss to winter and its lessons, to cold and all its hard. Before we call it spring, I finally caught the meaning of the waiting, the purpose of the pause. Before we call it spring, I see the cause of all that suffering, of I made it prove. Before we call it spring, I know it's true that I'm stronger than I knew, that I'm braver than I thought. Before we call it spring, I finally brought myself back home to me, back to who I am. Before we call it spring, I understand that seasons are just seasons, they come and then they go. Before we call it spring, I finally know that I'll be okay no matter what the weather. Before we call it spring, we're here together, you and me, in this moment, this precious in between. Before we call it spring, I finally seen the beauty in transition, the grace in letting go. Before we call it spring, I've learned to grow, and I'm grateful for the journey, for the cold and for the wait. Before we call it spring, I celebrate. Soft light remains quiet before we call it spring. We're finally met. The peace we've been seeking, the home we've been building. Before we call it spring, we're fulfilling our purpose in this moment, our place in this sky. Before we call it spring, we're perfectly fine. Cold air still on my sleeve, but the light feels different now, like something shifting underneath the frozen ground somehow. I walk a little slower when you're walking next to me, not because I'm tired, but because I wanna see every detail of this moment, every breath between the words, the way the sun hits your face like something I deserve. Nothing needs to be said, it's already changing. The air, the light, the way we're not rearranging. We're standing between seasons, not winter, not quite spring. Every quiet moment feels like it's learning us, learning how we move, learning how we breathe. Standing between seasons is exactly where I wanna be. Your shadow moves beside mine like it's always been there, like it knows the shape of mine, like it knows to care. I don't ask where we're going, I just keep matching steps, finding rhythm in the walking, finding peace in what comes next. The world is slowly waking from its winter sleep, and I'm slowly understanding what you've come to mean to me. No rush in our breath, just time unfolding, like spring beneath the snow, patiently holding. We're standing between seasons, not winter, not quite spring. Every quiet moment feels like it's learning us, learning how we fit, learning how we stay, standing between seasons, and I hope we never find our way to summer or to certainty, to promises too soon. I wanna stay right here in this in-between with you, where everything is possible, where nothing's set in stone, between seasons with you. I've never felt more home. The cold is getting gentler, the light is staying longer, and every day with you makes me a little stronger. We're standing between seasons, and that's exactly right. Not rushing toward tomorrow, just holding on to tonight. Every quiet moment, every step we take, standing between seasons is the sweetest choice we make. Soft light on the street, nothing else to hold, just you and me between seasons as winter loses hold. Your coffee's cooling slowly, mine's already gone, but I order another one just to stay a little long. The cafe's getting empty, but we don't seem to care. There's something in the silence that keeps us sitting there. I watch the way you hold your cup with both hands like it's precious. The way you smile at something small makes everything seem endless. It's almost warm enough to believe in this. Now I love not silence, just something we don't miss. When we're apart, when we're alone, it's almost warm enough to call it home. This feeling that we've grown, I feel it in the pause before you smile, the way you let me sit here for a while without asking why, without needing more, just sitting in the almost warm that we're building toward. The window's slightly open, winter letting go, fresh air mixing with the warm, a preview of the thaw. I don't pull my coat tighter, I don't wanna leave. This almost warm is teaching me how to just receive, without questioning if I deserve it, without wondering when it ends. Almost warm is perfect when you're sitting with a friend. It's almost warm enough to believe in this. Now I love not silence, just something we don't miss. When we're apart, when we're alone, it's almost warm enough to call it home. This feeling that we've grown. They say wait for summer, wait for heat and certainty, but I don't need the burning sun when almost warm is next to me. Almost warm is safer, almost warm is real, almost warm doesn't promise more than it can feel. And what I feel right now is enough to make me stay in this almost warm forever. If you feel the same way, it's almost warm enough to believe in us. Now I love not silence, but something worth the trust. When we're together, when we're here, it's almost warm enough to make things clear that this is what we need. We sit with the calm and let it be. Almost warm between us is all we'll ever need. Footsteps in wet streets, reflections breaking slow. The world is getting softer as the temperature climbs. Your hand almost touches mine, but doesn't need to. The space between us holds everything we're not saying. I can hear the melting, dripping from the roofs. Little rivers running towards something new. The snow is disappearing without a sound. Like fear I didn't know I was still holding down. Something's melting quietly right between us now. Every second softer, every word slowing down. Like snow in morning sunshine, like ice beneath our feet. Something's melting quietly, and it feels bittersweet to let go of the cold, to let go of the guard. Something's melting quietly, and it's not that hard. I stop checking the time when you look my way, wait. The clock becomes irrelevant when I wanna stay. This moment doesn't ask to be named or defined. It just exists between us like the changing light. The puddles on the sidewalk reflect the clearing sky. Snow melting quietly, teaching me how to try to trust in the transition, to not fear the change. Snow melting quietly, rearranging everything. Something's melting quietly right between us now. Every second softer, every word slowing down. Like snow in morning sunshine, like walls I built too tall. Something's melting quietly, and I'm not scared to fall into this new season, into this new way. Something's melting quietly every single day. What if warmth is not the enemy? What if soft is not weak? What if snow melting quietly is exactly what I seek? After years of frozen, after years of cold, what if melting quietly is how I become whole? I watch it disappear, the white that covered everything, and underneath I see the green that's emerging. Something's melting quietly, and I'm letting it. Every second softer, every moment lit by this gentle transition, by this slow release. Something's melting quietly, bringing me such peace. No wind in sight, just stillness. still wearing winter colors, gray and navy blue. But thinking lighter days when I'm thinking about you. Your laugh cuts through the cold in an accidental way. Makes me forget it's February, makes me think of May. I catch myself smiling at nothing in particular. Just the thought of seeing you makes everything less secular. This is before the flowers, before we call it love. Just two hearts warming up without enough proof. This is before the blooming, before we say the words. Just two souls circling like early morning birds. Before the flowers arrive, before the colors show. This is the quiet time when feelings start to grow. We don't promise tomorrow, we don't rewrite the past. We just stay right here and let the moment last. Longer than it should, sweeter than it seems. Before the flowers bloom, we're living in between. What was and what will be, what's safe and what's risked. Before the flowers, there's only this. I didn't plan this feeling, it just arrived one day, like the first crocus through the snow's decay. I didn't plan to need you or to miss you when you're gone. But before the flowers, something's growing strong. This is before the flowers, before we call it love. Just two hearts warming up without enough proof. This is before the blooming, before we make it real. Just two people learning how this is supposed to feel. Before the flowers arrive, before the world can see. This is our secret season, just you and me. And maybe flowers never come, maybe this is all. Maybe before the flowers is the sweetest time of all, when anything is possible, when nothing's set in stone. Before the flowers feels most like home. I'm not rushing toward the garden, I'm happy in the dirt. Before the flowers, nothing has to hurt. This is before the flowers, and I wanna stay right here in the almost, in the not quite yet today. This is before the blooming, and that's perfectly fine. Before the flowers is my favorite time. Soft breath in the air, then quiet. Before the flowers, we're still private. The wind still bites a little, but the sun arrives first, changing the equation of what could be worse than winter or than loneliness. I notice how you listen, like you're never in a hurry, like my words are worth the mission of stopping everything to hear what I'm trying to say. Light arise before the warmth, but it shows the way. Something opens slowly in the calm, like a flower to the sun, like your gentle palm, reaching out to steady me when unsure. Light arriving first makes everything more pure. Light arrives before the spring, just like you did. No grand entrance, just staying close when I needed someone near. Light arrives before the thaw, teaching me that love doesn't have to roar. Can be quiet, can be soft, can be steady, can be slow. Light arrives before the spring and helps me grow. I stop guarding my words, let them fall as they are, imperfect and unpolished, like unpredicted stars. You don't try to fix them, you just let them land. You don't try to change me, you just understand that light arriving first is all I need to see. That spring is coming closer, that I can finally be. That's when I feel it. This sees like light through windows, like a gentle breeze that doesn't force the door, just slowly fills the room. Light arriving first before the bloom. Light arrives before the spring, just like you did. No grand entrance, just being there when darkness felt too thick. Light arrives before the warmth, teaching me that healing doesn't happen in a storm. Can be gradual, can be kind, it can be kind, can be patient, can be true. Light arrives before the spring, just like you. I'm learning to trust the process of slow and steady change. That light arriving first can rearrange everything I thought I knew about how love should feel. That gentle can be powerful, that soft can be real. The sun stays longer each day, just minutes at a time, but those minutes add up like your hand in mine. Light arrives before the spring, and I'm not afraid of this gradual awakening, of this gentle cascade of feelings that are building day by day by day. Light arrives before the spring, showing me the way. The day fades out, still warm. Light arrive first. Now comes the calm. I don't miss the cold as much when you're around. The silence feels kinder, less like drowning, more like sound of peace I didn't know I was allowed to have. Slowly becoming someone who can laugh without it feeling foreign, without it feeling fake. Slowly becoming someone who can take a compliment without deflecting, a moment without fear. Slowly becoming whole when you're near. We're slowly becoming something unnamed, not rushing forward, not staying the same, just slowly becoming what we're meant to be. Together or separate, setting each other free. flowers to bloom in our own time. Slowly becoming is the sweetest climb. Without trying, that's new. This feeling of ease when I'm with you. No force, no pressure, no need to pretend. Slowly becoming more than friends. But what exactly, who can say? We're slowly becoming day by day. I notice the small things, like how you wait for me to finish thinking before you open the gate to a new topic, new terrain. You're patient in a way that makes me wanna be more present every day. Or how your voice softens at night, like you're careful with the fading light. With my tender places, with my guarded heart, slowly becoming is the finest art. We're slowly becoming something real, not rushing forward, just learning to feel. Just slowly becoming what we already are. Together we're wandering, but we're not wandering far from this gentle center, from this peaceful place. Slowly becoming at our own pace. They say love happens fast, like lightning, like a storm. But we're slowly becoming, and that feels more warm, more sustainable, more true, more like something built to last. Slowly becoming isn't slow, it's fast. Enough for hearts that have been broken, for souls that need more time. Slowly becoming is our perfect rhyme. I don't need to know what we'll call this tomorrow. Slowly becoming means no need to borrow from the future or the past, just right here, right now. Slowly becoming is teaching me how. We're slowly becoming, and that's enough. Not rushing forward, this isn't rough. This slowly becoming is exactly right. Not hurried, not stalled, just gentle light. Growing stronger every day in the softest way. Slowly becoming is where I want to stay. No words needed, just time. Slowly becoming yours and mine. I catch myself smiling without a reason why. Or maybe the reason is I stopped asking why. Winter doesn't feel heavy when you reply to my random messages about nothing in sky and weather and music and thoughts I can't explain. Practice for spring feels like gentle rain, washing away the residue of harder times before. Practice for spring is opening the door. Maybe this is how spring begins, not with flowers, but with tiny winds. Against the cold inside, against the frost in me. Maybe space to feel, letting moments land instead of chasing them. We're practicing for warmth by being kind today, practicing for spring in every gentle way, every soft conversation, every patient pause, practicing for spring without a single clause or condition or demand, just being here. Practicing for spring is how we persevere. Your presence stays gentle, never ask for more, and that makes me open every closed door, every guarded window, every locked away part. Practice for spring is how I restart my system. I believing that good things can remain. Practice for spring teaches me that rain eventually becomes sunshine, eventually becomes growth. Practice for spring is how we both learn to trust the process, learn to wait and see. Practice for spring is setting ourselves free. We're practicing for spring, making space to feel, letting moments land instead of stealing them. We're practicing for warmth by being soft today, practicing for spring in every single way, every kind word spoken, every gentle touch. Practicing for spring doesn't ask for much, just showing up consistently, just being real. Practicing for spring is how we heal. What if spring is not a season but a state of mind? What if we're already there and just need to find the courage to believe it, the faith to let it stay? Practice for spring is what we do each day, when we choose to be vulnerable, when we choose to try. Practice for spring is how we fly, without leaving the ground, without losing touch. Practice for spring means trusting this much is enough for now, is enough to grow. Practice for spring is how we know that better days are coming, not because we're sure, but because we're practicing, and that's the cure. Practicing for spring, and spring is practicing too, getting ready for us like we're getting ready for new. We're practicing for warmth, 1 degree at a time. Practicing for spring is our perfect rhyme, every patient moment, every day we choose. Practicing for spring means we can't lose, breathing it in slow. Practicing for spring, we grow. The nights are still long, but less lonely now. I think of you without trying to somehow force it or manufacture the feeling that you bring. Almost there to something that feels like early spring. The darkness doesn't scare me when I know you're just a call away from making it better, from making sense of it all. We're almost there, we're cold, let's go. Not quite love, but close enough to know that this is real, that this could be. Almost there is close enough for me. We're almost there, where winter ends. Not quite lovers, but more than friends. Almost there is a sacred space like our time where there's no race. I don't step back, I stay right here in the almost day by day. Getting closer to certain, getting closer to sure. Almost there's the gentlest cure. Your name feels lighter every time I say it, like something waiting in the wings to play it. It's full role in my story, it's true part in my life. Almost there to calling you more than just a might. Maybe, possibly, perhaps those words are fading fast. Almost there to certainty, almost to forecast that you're gonna matter for longer than a season. Almost there to loving you and needing no reason. We're almost there, we're cold, let's go. Not quite love, but warm enough to show that this is special, that this is true. Almost there is me and you. We're almost there, where fear subsides. Not quite certain, but opening wide. Almost there is where I wanna be, not rushed, not forced, just naturally. What if almost there is actually arrival? What if we don't need more for survival than this gentle growing, than this steady pace? Almost there might be the perfect place to stay a while longer, to not rush ahead. Almost there is where we're being led by something bigger than us, by something wise and kind. Almost there keeps blowing my mind with how good it feels to not have all answers. Almost there's where romance stirs. We're almost there, and that's okay. Not quite love, but more than yesterday. We're almost there, where trust begins. Not quite forever, but let's let it in. Almost there, sacred ground where we can simply be found by each other, by ourselves, by this beautiful truth. Almost there is our fountain of youth. Hold this moment soft. Almost there, we're not lost. Between your coat and mine, there's just enough space to maintain the mystery, to protect this grace. We walk the quiet line between then and now, between what was and will be, between the why and how. I like existing here in this liminal place where nothing's guaranteed, but everything has space. I don't cross it, I don't need to. The quiet line between us is our breakthrough. From lonely to together, from guarded to revealed, the quiet line we're walking is perfectly healed. Love doesn't have to rush across the season. It can stay right here and still have reason to be called love, to be called real. The quiet line we're walking is ideal for hearts that need more time, for souls that need more space. The quiet line between us is our saving grace. Love doesn't have to shout to make itself known. The quiet line we're walking feels like home. Your pace matches mine without a word exchange. That's how I know this isn't strange or forced or fabricated. It's naturally aligned. The quiet line we're walking is one of a kind. That's how I know this really matters. Not because it climbs, but because it doesn't shatter. The peace I've built around me, the calm I've worked to find. The quiet line respects me and my state of mind. nothing forced, nothing lost. The quiet line comes at no cost to who I am or who you are. The quiet line between us is our guiding star. Love doesn't have to run across the border. It can walk the quiet line in perfect order, taking its sweet time, learning as it goes. The quiet line between us is how love grows. When it's given room, when it's given care, the quiet line we're walking is beyond compare. To rushing or to pushing, to forcing or to fear, the quiet line keeps us perfectly clear. Some people run toward love like it's going to escape. We walk the quiet line and take our time to shape this beautiful connection, this gentle bond we're making. The quiet line isn't waiting, it's awakening. And everything we need, everything we are, the quiet line between us isn't far from becoming something deeper, from turning into more. The quiet line is the perfect door to walk through when we're ready, to open when it's time. The quiet line between us is our perfect rhyme against the rushing world, against the pressing need. The quiet line is where we're free. Love doesn't have to rush, and we don't have to know. The quiet line between us lets us grow at our own perfect pace, at our own perfect speed. The quiet line between us is all we need to build something lasting, to build something true. The quiet line is me and you. Footsteps fade together. The quiet line forever, forever. And that cool morn slips behind us like a final chapter of a book that used to bind us. I don't hold it back, I let it pass. And winter served its purpose, it wasn't meant to last. Forever in my heart, forever in my life. Before we call it spring, I'll make peace with winter's night. They cut me, shape me, make me who I am. Before we call it spring, I understand that cold was necessary, that fire served its role. Before we call it spring, I'm finally whole. Before we call it spring, I want this time when nothing's promised and everything's felt, when nothing's certain but everything's mine. Before we call it spring, one final line between what was and will be, between the cold and warm. Before we call it spring, I weather one more storm of emotions, of feelings, of letting winter go. Before we call it spring, I want to know ready for the light before we call it spring. One night, your hand stays near mine, enough to be real. Not grasping, not holding, just helping me feel grounded in this transition, steady in this change. Before we call it spring, we're finding our aim. Enough to be gentle, enough to be true. Before we call it spring, I'm learning from you how to move through seasons without losing myself. Before we call it spring, I'm taking off the shelf. All the parts I hid away, all the dreams I froze. Before we call it spring, a real me shows. I don't name it, I live it. Before we call it spring, I give it all my attention, all my care. Before we call it spring, I'm finally there. In this beautiful liminal space, in this sacred between. Before we call it spring, I've never been more ready for whatever comes, more open to the new. Before we call it spring, I'm choosing you, and I'm choosing me, and I'm choosing this. Before we call it spring, my final kiss to winter and its blessings, too cold and all its heart. Before we call it spring, I finally caught the meaning of the waiting, the purpose of the pause. Before we call it spring, I see the cause of all my suffering, of all my pain. Before we call it spring, I'm whole again. Not because spring is coming, but because I made it through. Before we call it spring, I know it's true that I'm stronger than I knew, that I'm braver than I thought. Before we call it spring, I finally brought myself back home to me, back to who I am. Before we call it spring, I understand that seasons are just seasons. They come and then they go. Before we call it spring, I finally know that I'll be okay, no matter what the weather. Before we call it spring, we're here together, you and me, in this moment, this precious in between. Before we call it spring, I've finally seen the beauty in transition, the grace in letting go. Before we call it spring, I've learned to flow. Before we call it spring, I wanna stay right here in winter's ending. One more day where everything's still possible, where nothing's set in stone. Before we call it spring, I've found my home. in this space between the seasons, in this gentle time before we call it spring.